Some people waste away their full potential in life, not because they are not talented, not because they are dumb, not because they don't know what to do in life, but because of something so mundane, something very little, that you'd actually be embarrassed about it. And when you hear it, you'll just realize that this is the one thing that has been pulling you behind throughout all your life. You've been struggling with this and you never even knew it. You just thought that maybe you're not talented enough, maybe you're not really good at whatever you do, maybe you're just a coward, you're not that confident. So you just chose to live life like this mediocre lifestyle. You just chose to remain in your comfort zone because you didn't actually realize this up until now. And when you hear this thing, it might sound so obvious right now, but if you stick around throughout this video, I'm going to explain to you why it is the one thing that is really ruining you in life. And that thing is basically inaction. Right now, you probably overthink things in life. You maybe start thinking of a project or a business idea that you want to do, and then you spend time overthinking. Maybe people will judge you, maybe it won't work out, maybe your whole capital, the amount of money you have saved to start this business, maybe it will go away. And then you just experience this period whereby you choose to remain safe. You just hold on to your money and your ideas. You choose to wait for the perfect aligning, the perfect moment when things will actually make sense, when things will seem very less risky, so that you can actually take that idea. Maybe you see a girl you like, maybe you live within the same area, and then daily you go ahead, you see her, and you just pass each other. Maybe you just say hi, and you never take any serious action apart from the greetings, of course, because greetings, making a greeting, it's a really easy thing, especially if it's someone who you see every day. You just say hi and they'll respond positively. But when you take that risk and you choose to approach her, that is when things might be risky. She might not give you her number. She might not respond well to your advances, and then you will lose all aura. You think that you'll continue meeting her, and things will start becoming awkward. Maybe she will tell all the people around your neighborhood that you are hitting on her. Maybe, or maybe not. Maybe she will embarrass you in front of people. You think there is this kind of a spotlight that is on you. You see this invisible spotlight. Everyone, like you are the main character. Everyone is so invested in whatever you do. And that is not a true thing, because everyone has his own life. We all have our own problems. And everyone sees that spotlight as if people are going to judge him. And when you realize this, there is no spotlight. That is just your mind. You have created that kind of a thing whereby your mind is telling you that this thing is too risky to do. People are watching while people are minding their own business. Many people have their own things. They have their own problems. The person you think is paying attention to you, probably he too thinks that you're paying attention to them while you're actually not. So I always used to think this way. And for a long time, I never took any serious action in life. You just fear being judged. People will talk bad about you. People will say things, and you will lose all aura. And while that may be true, people will actually respect you. When you become this kind of person that takes action, people will respect you. People will come to see you as this confident kind of guy who always takes action. So, in fact, it's safe to say that you'll actually gain more aura if you continue taking action. So, while you continue overthinking things, you continue being that guy who always just says hi, then eventually she'll find someone better, someone who will approach her, and she will fall in love with someone else. And you will just remain like that. If there's something worse that I've gone through, and I know it's the worst feeling, it's that kind of uncertainty. You don't know if someone wants you or if they don't. You don't know if something will work out or if it won't. It's just better you save yourself that trouble of overthinking. You know, overthinking is a really bad thing, and if you continue being that kind of guy who doesn't take any action in life, you'll continue being that overthinker, and so it drains you. You're always thinking the worst. You're always thinking that maybe I should approach her today. You start stalking, start wasting time, and eventually she'll just, look out for someone else, someone who's more confident, someone like me. And you lose all the aura. A few years ago, I was actually at the lowest in my life. I had nothing to show off except for one YouTube song. I had there was a time I tried being an artist in high school. So I had that one song. I started using it as a coping mechanism. Whenever I would like someone and I would want to talk to them, I would go ahead and just say, I have this song on YouTube. And then I would ask for the number. And while this was a sleek tactic, at that time I thought it was actually sleek. It was actually a coping mechanism. And it ruined my confidence completely, because the people I had collaborated with, the people I had sang that song with, I was a rapper actually, they ended up deleting the song. And the worst happened. I could no longer talk to people. I lost all my aura. So I was actually such a loser that I used to, before making a call with someone, I used to write a whole script of how the call would go. So if I was that kind of a loser, I know you probably don't do that, so you're not much of a loser like me. But I ended up practicing and I became good at it. So I used to write very long scripts, and then after the call, I would end up cutting the paper, and I could not even follow that script because I was actually shy. So that was like a coping mechanism that I had. I was a really weak loser, and it's a fine thing to say actually. That is until I found my purpose in life, and then everything changed. Instead of buying things for people and expecting validation from them, I started by buying things for myself first. Instead of overthinking things, overtexting, I just invented like the 3-second rule. Whenever I wanted to approach someone, I would just invent like that 3-second rule. And what is the 3-second rule? If you want to know about the 3-second rule, then this video is probably right for you. I basically learned this role from a pickup artist's book. And I know what you're thinking. And yeah, I admit I was actually a really socially awkward kind of person. So I had to learn from somewhere. And why not learn from the best, the pickup artists? Because those are the most confident people that you can ever meet. So I just decided to read this book and start applying the things that I'm going to learn from there. So I started reading, I took my time, I wrote notes, I started like practicing, I started taking these tests. I would test myself, I would actually go and see what would actually work for me. And that is how knowledge is applied. You do the things that you read in books and then see if they work. That is how you learn. If they work, you keep them. If they don't, you just discard them and you look for more information. That is how knowledge works. So I started reading books. I usually read a lot. So I started approaching new people and applying them. And with time, I began practicing. At first, it actually seems kind of awkward. You just there, you say hi, and then everyone ignores you, or someone just thinks of you as this beggar, this kind of guy who doesn't have anything. And then with time, you just get really slick at it. You just become confident enough. So I became confident, probably more than you right now, because right now I know you probably have that judgy mentality where you think, I read a pickup artist book, so you actually judge me. So I'm actually more confident than you. If we were to be left in a field and we were told to talk to strangers, I would actually talk more than you, because I have experience right now, and it was basically out of reading that book. So it's not a bad thing to actually learn how to interact with people. It's an important skill to have, because you will actually also use it in sales, in things. Once you learn how to talk to people, that is a very important skill to have, because you'll actually live well with people. You'll actually make your business prosperous, and you'll become that elite kind of guy who always has aura. People will start following you. So up to now, if you still have that judgy mentality, then you're just a sore loser. And this video is probably not about you again. So you should just click off. So the 3-second rule is basically an idea that they came up with, whereby whenever you think of an idea or you think of something, you just take like 3 seconds. You force yourself to actually do that task or do that thing within the 3 seconds you've thought about it. Mark the word force, because you actually force yourself. You don't feel like it, maybe you feel shy, but you just force yourself to actually do the thing that you want. Maybe it's a girl you like, you see her across the street, just count to 3, 1, 2, 3, and then you go. You approach her. No more overthinking, no more stalking. You don't stalk, you just spend the 3 seconds. You approach. If you get rejected, fine. You will actually have that peace, that inner peace, that you actually approach that person, than staying like that and being an overthinker, thinking she likes you and she actually doesn't. So stop being an overthinker. You just do that kind of thing. You just use the 3 seconds. If the 3 seconds passed, then you failed. You no longer think about approaching her, maybe the next time, or doing that kind of thing that you want to do. You just take the 3 seconds, then you move on. You push yourself like this enough times and you'll actually realize that you're actually confident. It's just when you start overthinking, that your internal state starts to change and you start becoming like a coward. Well, you're actually not. you are confident. We are all born confident. It's just that your mind starts telling you things. Your lizard brain actually tells you things that you don't want to do, the things that could happen. Well, the risks, the probabilities are very high. Actually, if you're confident, the probability of things working out your way is actually very high. So when you start right now and you start doing them, you'll start realizing that things will actually start opening up for you, and you'll start becoming that kind of person that doesn't need approval to do things. And it's actually kind of an aura. You actually do things that other people can't do, and it's just because you took action. When I realized this, my life actually changed. People started seeing me as this confident kind of guy, this kind of guy who always goes for whatever he wants. And while that may be true, I'm actually also a really shy kind of person, but I just use the 3-second rule, and when I do that, I actually come off as confident. So take action right now. It's not rocket science. It's not like you're becoming a doctor or something, you start reading. Just take action. You don't need any more explanation, any more reading, any more research about things. Just start doing it. In action, like I said from the start of the video, inaction is a really bad thing. And when you start taking action, this is the cure. When you start taking action, you'll just realize that things weren't so bad as you thought they would be. Things are actually easy. It's just you. You're the one who overthinks. You're the one who lets things get to your head, and they end up messing with your brain. So when you start becoming that kind of person who always takes just 3 seconds to execute things, you start becoming unstoppable. You'll probably realize that like only 1% of people are actually cold towards you or are not friendly. Most of the people, like 95% or 99%, are actually really friendly and really warm towards you. When you start making conversations, because we are meant to interact with people, and we are actually in the loneliest generation in this world. You and I are actually one of the loneliest people in the world, and it's not because we don't have things. We actually have like technology, we have phones, we can talk, so things were made very easy, but you're still lonely. Why? Because we can no longer interact with people. We are so awkward and we are so shy that we think that we have this spotlight, people are seeing you, so you just opt not to talk to people. So we are meant to talk to people, and that is how you cure loneliness. If you're lonely right now, the only thing that you can do is to talk to new people. Just stop overthinking. Even if it's just a stranger, just go and say hi. You don't have to take their number. Just learn how to interact with people, and you'll realize that it's actually not so bad. We are wired to talk to people. You can't just sit throughout with your life alone. Your whole life you just become alone. Don't be like these NPCs, these people who always say that they are introverts, so they always like to cope and say that they don't talk to people. I'm also an introvert, but being introverted doesn't mean that you don't have to interact with people. You can. Okay, you'll have periods where you are alone, and it's okay, but have like some time that you interact with people. Otherwise, you'll just live like that. No one will recognize you, and you'll have nothing to show for. And when you die, probably just your family will be the one who buries you. So learn to interact with people. It's not a bad thing. It's not like a sin. You'll not get arrested. They won't beat you. You're actually an adult right now. Because if you're watching this video and you're actually getting what I'm saying, you're probably 16 years and above. So if you're 16 years and above, no one is going to beat you. People will just be like, oh, this shy guy actually talks, and it's fine. And then they'll go on with their life. It's easy as that. I used to have like those periods where I never talked to people. I saw a person I liked and I never talked to her because I thought that people would actually judge me, and I would end up losing all my aura. And actually, when I started talking to her, that is when things opened up in my life, and I actually became like this social kind of guy. Everyone started talking to me. No one even noticed. And I realized that all that overthinking was actually in my head. So stop all these bullshit excuses that you're trying to make up as to why you can't interact with people, or you can't use the 3-second rule to actually become an elite kind of guy. You're meant to become the greatest your bloodline has ever seen. So start behaving like that kind of guy. Otherwise, you'll just remain average. And we all know you don't want to become an average kind of guy. You want to become an elite kind of guy. You should probably check out my other videos. I talk about money, health, mental health, relationships, status, and everything required to make you become an elite kind of man. That kind of man who is the greatest his bloodline has ever seen. So if you want to become that kind of guy, then this channel is probably for you. So subscribe and start your journey right now, because like I said, inaction is the cure for fear, and it's the one thing that is making you be behind in all your things. Become the greatest your bloodline has ever seen, and then pass it down.